And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful, wonderful friends. Morpheus in the house again is going to take you on a little journey of excitement today. A bit of the red pill, get a little bit of the truth. Chats are open. My boy Henry is here. Anybody wants to take advantage of the instruments that are available to us in the 21st century to making money, binary option, in my opinion, there's nothing better. Because even when we don't shoot for like Taj Mahal and 20 Ferraris by tomorrow, at the end of the month we get significant side income, and this is something that trickles down into something much, much bigger in 2, 3 months. Today, my dear friends, we're going to take advantage of the second most popular macro statistic of the month. And if we go to any Forex calendar, right, their economic calendar, in other words, we will see that well, today, Tuesday the 15th, in my time zone is GMT plus 3, and we'll see that in approximately, what are we talking about, 9 minutes from now, in about 2 minutes, we're going to see its countdown. We're going to have United States CPI. The interesting thing, let's actually kind of go like this. The interesting thing is that usually, that's why it's important to take a look at economic calendars. Usually the first Friday of the month we got the NFP, but because of the July 4th holidays, it's been pushed. Usually, it's been pushed to a day before. So the NFP was on Thursday, 3rd of July, and the CPI, which is usually on Wednesday after the NFP, was pushed to today. All right, so we, understand that it's not really the ideal situation for today because, because we're actually going to be sharing it with Canadian CPI. Usually it's not really the case. There we go. Timer has already started. And in 7 minutes and like 13 seconds from this second, right, we're going to see a spike with the USD and Canada. So which currency pair to choose? Essentially, anything with a USD will give us I don't know, kind of interpretation of this particular signal, right? And it's kind of, well, as I mentioned, it's important to choose maybe the bigger economy, right? So we got the GBP USD, we got 87%, right? There we go. Let's actually kind of highlight it here. But also, let's take a look at CAD, because here's the thing. Maybe we got, well, no, we don't. I was about to say. Euro CAD, we got a little bit higher as well, right? So the highest one is 87%. So we got Euro CAD and we got GBP USD, both at 87%. Now, I'm still inclined between the two to take a look at the GBP USD. One of the reasons, once again, this is the most volatile of all of the currencies in the world, and this is the biggest economy in the world. So that's also kind of something that's worth keeping an eye out. Now, today we are going to try again to do the pending trades, right? Let's take a look at, this is where it's going to be done. Pending trade by the asset. There's the real quotes right now. We got 34.47. So in a few minutes, we're going to take a look again. But if this is going to be 34.47, we're going to take 7 minus 4, right? It's going to be 34.43, and we're going to sell, and 34.51, and we're going to buy. It's going to create this kind of a channel, right, of pending trades that are going to wait until the asset reaches that point to activate them, right? So no money's taken out of, right? If we actually take a look, there we go, $1. Let's take a, let's do that, right? So 4.8. Let's go 5.2 for a buy, and 4.4 for a sell. Right, there it is. So no money has been taken out of the balance, right? But we've created this particular channel, and look, current positions, they're both open. So unless something really goofy happens right now, there's a signal. right? It doesn't make sense for us to do this randomly. It's a 4-pip difference, and if it's going to go, boom, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, touches this line, all right, which might be actually a relatively good line of resistance or support in this case. It can touch this, activate the position, and then retrace, right? So this is where we can close these positions without any kind of penalties, right? But we got a timer of 1 minute. It's can't really be anything but the timer, and essentially this is something that's going to be activated, right? If all of a sudden 87 drops to 55% right before the release, this is not going to be engaged. All right, so even if we open it like right now, it drops to 55%, then spikes, it's not going to engage. So payout from 60%. That's essentially what we have to set as. So there we go. Today is the second most popular macro statistics because it gauges well, essentially inflation, right? It's kind of like a leading, macro indicator in how consumers affect the price index, right? There we go. We got Cryptonaut. Okay, welcome, welcome, my dear friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, really, really excited actually that you said hello because we've got a very exciting situation happening right now in about 3 minutes. We're gonna have I would say like a relatively decent spike followed by a retracement. And what is retracement? This is essentially when people cash out. In the real market right now, somebody will be looking to open a GBP USD standard lot, or maybe like even 10 standard lots, and the profit in euro dollar for like each pip is around $10. Yeah, absolutely, hell yeah, this is something that's going to be very exciting. And as soon as there's going to be a movement based on the release of this statistics, there's going to be a spike, and one standard lot, each pip is going to be worth around $10. So if there is a spike of like 40 pips, that means somebody immediately made like 400 bucks with Forex, and they're going to want to cash out that money, which means that they're going to close the position, and it's actually considered a sell, right? When the position is opened, it's considered a buy because you're investing sort of money into it. When a position is sold, it's considered a sell. It affects the supply and demand principles. And there we go, less than 2 minutes now. We're going to be able to see this in action. All right, so for the retracement, all right, so we're getting ready right now. I usually trade with technical analysis with the flag until the end of the minute, but here we're going to trade with a expiration of a timer, right? Just 60 seconds later, so 1 minute. So first step for me is going to be 100, then we're going to kind of keep it kind of aggressive today. Next one's going to be 200, next one's going to be 600. Right, and we're approaching this moment when we're going to see, we're going to have to start doing the pending trades as well. All right, so 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now if we go into the platform, we see there it is. There's 59 seconds from now. We're in the final minute. After this candle is over, we got 1 minute graph, or we got 1 minute candles. After this candle is, minute is finished, there's going to be a burst. All right, so right now we do have 34.43. So we would need 34.49, or I'm sorry, wait a second, 39. Yep, to open a sell position. Let's do it for $100 today as well for a sell, and 34.47 for $100 and buy. There we go. We've created this corridor, and now we're essentially in the final 10 seconds. There it is, right? We got the current price. We got everything loaded. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do we got? Boom. All right, we got a spike and retracement. I think I'm actually going to go for a 200 if it go. There we go. All right, for a 200 and even we'll load up 600, but we should wait now, right? So I think that it maybe reached its peak right here. We have one asset activate. This one is not, so we are closing it. And I would say that, yeah, I mean, I could open. This is something that my balance just allows me to do. And because there has to be a retracement, people will close out their profits that they're making right now. We're opening another, we're loading up another position. That's why. So I'm about to lose this 100, but I'm going to make profit on the pending trade. All right, there we go. So 60 seconds later, it looks like we're going to be winning quite a decent sum if it stays right about in here. Nope, there it is. All right, so we won 100, we lost 100, and the retracement looks like we've got this situation where we should probably wait a little bit. All right, there we go. We're gonna lose. Okay, we're gonna lose 1,000. Okay, there we go. Or I'm sorry, we're gonna lose 600 in a couple of seconds. But the retracement should be happening. All right, so what's happening right now? GBP is good. I mean, some actually really bad news for the USD. And there we go. We got this pending, and CPI is no, it's not bad. Interesting why the GBP is reacting this way. All right, so there we go. I've opened a little bit bigger position once again at the top here. The retracement has to happen, but this is something that we need to be aware that the retracement could start happening on the following minute. Right, that's why I always say no more than 3 steps martingale in the first step, or I'm sorry, in the first minute, and then we're taking a look at what the market is doing, but it looks like we're going to be pulling in some really good money today. All right, so there we go. I think about 10 seconds, so there it is. All right. So let's take a look at the history, my friends. All right, so this is, the situation. One of the pending trades, as soon as it spiked up, it was like 4 pips here, right? Actually, if we take a look at the size of this movement, let's kind of analyze it. 3442, right? 3442. It started right. I think like around when did we open? 3448. Right, so 4248, right about, oh wow, all right, so the pending trade was about here, right? So as soon as it hit this part, it activated this position. The one that was below it is no longer, we no longer needed it, so we closed it as soon as the spike happened. And there it is, right? We've made $100, right? Because it spiked up and it retraced very little. It stayed above here. And if you would have caught it, let's just say that you would have caught it here, the small retracement already was good enough to make money. And, considering that it went even higher, we opened at the, top of the second candle, a bit bigger position than usually. And you can see that, yes, it retraced, it continued to retrace, and now it's probably going to, let's say, just play out. It's going to do its thing. Let's take a look at Euro CAD. We got, kind of the same thing, but here, because Canadian government is not as big, right, or rather, Canadian economy is not as big as United States, right, the movement was a little bit smaller. Actually, wait a second. Let's calculate it, right? So we have 3442, and the highest point, I would say, was 3463. So 21 pips here in the first candle. Obviously, it went up a little bit higher before retracing, but Euro CAD, right? So it opened, actually, I would say that it opened here, and it was interesting that there was a spike downward, and then a retracement that was actually kind of like almost 200% retracement. So see, in this kind of situation, we got pending trades are not really a good idea, because imagine, you opened a position for pending position by the asset price here, and it spikes and it activates a sell. But then in the same minute, it spikes into a different direction and activates a buy. Because of the 80%, 87%, you would have lost on $100. You would have lost $13 here, even if it closed, higher. But it might have actually looked like it did. Two positions might have been in the negative. So if one was over here, the next one was over here. It looks like it could have gone whoosh, activated one, closed beyond. So it lost this one, activated the other, and closed below, and you could have actually lost 2 positions. Remember, I'm not selling you a trick. I'm selling you knowledge and information that you could be able to use to apply this for your own style of trading. Something that you can do, something that you can talk to me about in our Telegram channel one-on-one is, maybe kind of a deeper immersion into I don't know, the intricacies, right, of this kind of trading. But once again, the beautiful thing about trading with macros is that you don't need any kind of indicator, right? You don't really need anything that we had here because we knew exactly what it looks much more impressive now, right? But because if you're on the go, yeah, Kryptonite, absolutely, my friend. Glad you appreciate it. So the spike, even though it looks, massive over here, is actually just like 21 pips. So spike, retracement usually happens on the first candle, and we did have this here. It's just that I entered about here, I think, and about, close enough, but not really higher. And that's why I took a bit bigger position on the retracement, because retracement always happens. It happens on the first, on the second, or maximum on the third candle. And so you guys got to keep that in mind. So there we go. We made $100, or our $100 position was in the money here, so 87 bucks. We lost 900 right here, but totaling, right, the next step, the fourth step of martingale, should be 1,800. I just clicked twice on 1,000, so we opened $2,000, and it came in. So essentially 900, or I'm sorry, 1,000. What did we make here actually? 1,000. Yeah, my math is off, right? 840. 1,840 was made here, plus 87. So essentially, let's say that 1,500 today was made live with you guys, and according to logic, math, statistics, not luck. We did this everything according to a plan. That's the beautiful part about this. So tell your friends that this is how it's done, right? You don't really maybe need to open 80 positions per day to get your 5-10%. Maybe you could, wait for the next crypto, or no, crypto. I'm looking at Cryptonaut and there's like a Freudian slip. Maybe you can take a look at the next macro statistic. All right, there we go. And we see that tomorrow we got at 9 a.m. GMT plus 3 times. So if you're in America, this is going to be like wicked late. But let's just, let's just take a look. Any Forex calendar, economic calendar, will give you an opportunity to Central Time. All right, let's say Central Time, right? There we go. It's about 8 hours back. And if we take a look at this week, we see that GBP is going to be released today. Nope, wait a second. Where's GBP? CPI, there we go. 1 in the morning. God dang. All right, so at 1 in the morning, if you guys, I don't know, are not sleeping, maybe you want to make some money. There we go. It's very fast, as I mentioned, right? This is not something that's a surprise. Lots of people know about this ahead of time by looking at an economic calendar, and you're able to understand exactly at what moment, right down to the second, you get an opportunity to take advantage of pending trades. But as I mentioned, I really wouldn't activate the pending trade by asset, right? With about 4 pips higher, 4 pips lower. Wouldn't advise to do it on anything else. NFP, yes. CPI, yes. Maybe some unemployment statistic, because NFP is an employment statistic, it's just that it's from the United States, the biggest economy in the world. Yes. But for something like PPI, which I think that are retail sales, right, that we're going to take advantage of. Actually, let me change back to my time. GMT plus 3. All right, there we go. Doesn't really matter where, Talon or not, as long as it's GMT plus your time zone. There we go. Alright, so for me, Wednesday, I'm not going to take advantage. I'm probably just waking up at that moment, but we are going to be taking advantage of the PPI. Just that the pending trade's probably not going to happen here. Retracement, yes, yes, retracement on almost all of the ones that we usually go through. Remember that last month in June, all of the macro statistics that we chose to take advantage of, we did not lose, not even once, right? You and I, we won money every single time in that, 100% success rate. And this month as well, we've not really lost. I had technical difficulties with NFP that came out, right? But we did take advantage of it on 3rd, right? And you can see the videos. So there it is, non-farm unemployment claims, or non-farm employment change, rather. There it is. Unemployment claims is a weekly statistic that happens on Thursday, but non-farm happens usually on Friday, but because of the holidays. So anyways, we started here, we've made money. Last week, right, we took a look, and I think a Canadian unemployment change, we also made money. And this week we started out, there was nothing on Monday, but there we go. We have 100% success in making money for about like what if we take today as like middle of the month, for a month and a half. When we started making videos every single day, we started going through these statistics every single day. We've made money. Pocket option is going to be paying out some really good profits to us. And it's actually, I want to again go back into saying that this is not something that I can pre-record. Right? And the results that you see in all of the YouTube videos and Twitch videos is something that's live. You can click on Pocket Option link below. You'll actually get a little bonus, to your deposit if you choose to kind of take advantage of this with us. I do encourage you to touch base with me in Telegram channel where you and I one-on-one. Cryptonaut, buddy. Also reach out. We can discuss the, maybe kind of more delicate aspects and more intricate aspects of trading. But whether you're like to do technical trading in, um, on pocket option, it's a different kind of approach. Different money would be involved. That would never open $1,000. Because actually, I shouldn't really say never, but it would be highly unlikely that it would actually ever go to that amount. And so today, we're going to continue to do a little bit of technical analysis. That's it. This is over. There was a spike. There was a retracement. Establishment maybe of a particular resistance level. There was a retracement even further. So now we're looking at, essentially some indicators. So we're going to build it. Shaft trend cycle, where we usually have ADX and ATR. All right, ADX I usually kind of change a little bit the output to green and this one to red, and this one to, kind of like this. So now we see that ADX line is the turquoise, the green, it's the positive directional movement index, the red one is negative, and essentially now we got, when we look at this situation, it happened, what are we talking about? About 15 minutes, or, right, yeah, 13 minutes ago. All right, so 13 minutes. Look, there was a spike from a positive directional movement index. There was a little bit kind of, it was already in a slightly impressive positive or kind of a upward trend based on the ADX and the amount of purchases that were made and amount of what kind of quotes were coming in. But now we see that, the ADX shows around 24, it's declining, which means there's no trend. That's it. This particular situation with the CPI for the United States has been played out. Now, Cryptonaut, once again, this is something that you can take advantage of on any crypto calendar. Why do I keep saying Cryptonaut, crypto calendar? Forex calendar, and you'll be able to see the events for this, for the entire week. It's not just one time per week. As I mentioned, tomorrow we got CPI for GBP. I would expect that there will be a very noticeable movement. Usually American CPI is a little bit bigger. But because we have the core CPI negative, We got the monthly CPI, kind of exactly as the expectations, good news. And we got the yearly CPI is a little bit better. It's kind of mixed information. That's why it was unusual that there was, a movement only of 20 pips. But the NFP is usually like 50, 60 pips. The CPI is usually 30, 40 pips, but this is not always the case. So that's why we're looking at, economic calendars. We're not really losing our head. I would never really encourage you to open a very big position right away for like $1,000. However, there will be moments when you will see the big spike. You open for the first step martingale, it immediately goes back down 50% and stays there somewhere and it closes there. So, and you're like, oh man, $100, I could have opened for 1,000. Don't rush it because there's going to be another one, right? Tomorrow we got CPI from Britain, the most volatile of all currencies, or at least what is considered the most volatile. We also have a couple of hours later, just like today, exactly the same time today, euro, dollar, or anything with the USD will create a noticeable spike tomorrow as well, same time, right? So maybe another $100 here. On Thursday, we have third most popular macro statistics of the month from United States, the retail sales. Yes, we're going to be able to maybe another 100 right there. And on Friday, we don't have anything. So that's why we're going to do just technical analysis, maybe some indicators. Yeah, so this is something that you can take a look at. Because, as I mentioned, because of 4th of July, the biggest economy in the world being America, everything got shifted around. I would have loved to have taken advantage of the United States CPI on Wednesday, the 9th, where it usually is, and Canadian CPI today and British CPI tomorrow. But just sometimes it shifts because of the holidays that we are experiencing. Right. So when we're talking about on a weekly basis, I mean, what is decent amount of money on a weekly basis? This week, we should be looking at if you open with $100 today, tomorrow, and on Thursday. Actually tomorrow we got two of them, right? So one, two, three, essentially $400, right? So 90, let's say 87% of $400. Not bad on a weekly basis. And then we're looking at the following week, right? And this is something that we will do on the Telegram channel as well. We can actually do it for the entire month. And starting from the 22nd or 21st, there we go, Monday, there's not really a lot of things usually on Monday because the markets are just waking up. Tuesday, we don't really have anything either. You and I are going to be doing technical analysis. But on Thursday, all right, so Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So on Thursday, we got the manufacturing PMIs. So actually, every single one of them, we got the 10:15. 15 minutes later, we got the German, we got French and German. So we're going to be doing live stream right here because we're going to have those two opportunities for a spike and a retracement, right? We are going to probably going to skip the euro. Last time we did this in June, it didn't really move the market, but the GBP also moved the market. So we're going to have actually three positions during one live stream. We're going to take advantage of three macro statistics, and there's obviously going to be one for United States at usually like what 4:40. There it is at 4:45. So about an hour and 15 minutes after the spike that we've seen today. So it depends on where you are in the world. So next week there's not going to be a lot. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday there's actually going to be nothing. But on Thursday you're going to have like 5 reasons to open a retracement, all in one kind of day throughout the day. But if you are in America, some of these things are going to be wicked early. All right, so we're talking about like 11 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. All right, let's take a look if we got going up. So Pacific time, U.S. and Canada, right? Pacific time. Or we got Mountain time. What else we got? We got Central time. All right, let's go Central time. So we see that the manufacturing services PMIs are going to be wicked late. Right? We got the Euro French is going to be at 2:15 a.m. Then 2:30. But the idea is once again maybe you're going to have a sleepless night. if you're from America. And, based on your time zone, maybe this is something that's still going to be manageable. All right. So, having said that, we're probably going to go into our technical analysis and technical trading for a little bit, but we're probably not going to do that with the real market. And once again, I keep wanting to remind it's a different pool. There's different volatility in the OTC as there is, for example, in the real market. Here, the volume of traders is absolutely insane. It's like comparing an ocean to your backyard swimming pool. If you jump in the middle of the ocean, believe me, you're not going to create any waves. But if you jump in your backyard pool, the reaction should be there. Right, so there we go. We also got a spike. I'm kind of curious how many pips it was here, right? So approximately 6.5, right? 1665, and the highest point was 20 pips, right? 8.5, 1685. So kind of the same thing. Only here was 74%, where we made 87. So, by the way, I usually take a little bit extra aggressive stance um, on investing in the macro statistics, right? With the multiplier, that's usually 2, right? We go from 1 to 2 to 6 to 18. All right, so 100 or 10, 20, 60, 180, or 100, 200, 600, 1,800. Remember that all of this is determined really by the amount of money that you have in your balance. All right, so don't really put a cart ahead of the horse and start opening crazy big right away. It might go through, might get lucky because this is usually historically repetitive. But it's also not something that I would ever encourage. So with the multiplier in technical analysis, we usually write, if you guys reach out to me in Telegram channel, I'll send you Excel sheet where you'll be able to plug in the martingale, right? We'll be able to plug in the certain data and you immediately get an understanding what is your next step. So I usually open for 1.5 multiplier, right? And, we usually kind of do our technical analysis starting with like a $2 investment. So I understand that this is not as exciting to some of you to see maybe big bucks, but I've been doing this long enough where I can tell you that if you're chasing big bucks now, you're not going to be making money steadily long term over a long period of time. And that's exactly what I want for all of you, to be able to make money on a daily basis, which is going to add up to something very nice at the end of the month. And at that point, you'll be able to, withdraw this money and invest into traditional, methods of money investment, money growth, right? So binary options doesn't replace stock market. It's just it kind of turbocharges or supercharges, also depending where you are in America or Europe, and it gets you that money faster so that you're able to extract it and maybe put it in a real estate near you. Maybe extract and pay it off a little bit faster, right? In 4 months, 5 months, and 6 months to pay that off, and then buy another, sell this, buy bigger, maybe for example, or sell this, invest into a whole bunch of stocks, and then repeat the process or something like this. So this is also something that you and I can discuss in our Telegram channel. It's linked below. Like the video, subscribe please, and obviously give a little feedback with a comment so that we understand what you guys are looking for. So let's go back to, there we go, euro dollar, but then the OTC, as you can see, there was no spike at 1530. Right, nothing really here happened. That's why we choose to trade technical analysis in something like this. But in the style of what we usually do, we want to take the biggest payouts. There we go, 92%. We can maybe do a little exotic USD. Don't even know what that is. If you guys know, leave that in the comments. Get in the chat. Enlighten me. But whatever it is here, this is all about trading with our clients, OTC, with pocket option clients. And so when we look at some of the indicators that we went through with you guys together, we start to see that maybe right now not really something that's a good idea to open any positions, right? We do have kind of like a, I don't know, interesting, maybe slight channel here like this. Alright, so it's kind of hopping between here, but there's not really, volatility is super low, there's no trend, but this is usually something that is done right before a particular trend. It can't be like lackluster performance, right, with the MACD kind of like here, or on the low side of the volatility. The candles are not going to be kind of big right now. I don't really even know. I think the positive directional movement index with the ADX is at like a really low, right, like around 14%. So nothing really exciting. I'm not expecting a big candle yet, right? But it also means kind of like an alligator, right? Before, if it's closed, the mouth is closed, right? There's an indicator called the alligator. There it is, and it's considered there's like teeth, lips, or lips, teeth, and mouth. And when they open, you got kind of like a nice trend, right? There it is. It's rising here above 20. It's rising with negative directional movement index. We got volatility that's relatively high, and so yeah, you could have caught it maybe like at this point right here, for a couple of candles. But when the mouth is closed for a while, means that when it opens, there's a higher chance of bigger candles, or rather a longer movement, right? And we kind of like that idea of trend is your friend. So right now we got, probably a higher probability that there's going to be an upward movement. I think that actually right now it's happening. There it is, right? You see the directional movement index, positive and negative, are kind of trying to duke it out right now, but the volatility is really low. I'm thinking that there's still going to be a small candle. So we're going to leave that alone for now. We're going to take a look at another one. All right, so what do we got here? Also, ADX is like 11, though we do have a relatively decent support line, which doesn't really tell us anything yet because, because of this. Volatility is very low. Or I'm sorry, the momentum of this kind of like movement is not very, big. We could say that we have kind of like an ascending right triangle here, right? An upward movement. It met the resistance level, boom, met the resistance level, came back down, and it seems like it kind of wants to continue to go up. There we go. So, but I really wouldn't trust this actually also. A little bit of experience maybe, but it is crossing. It still looks like it should be going up. It's crossing, the ADX and MACD and the signal line right here were crossed, and it kind of stayed very slightly going upwards closer. It's crossing these both lines, crossing the zero line is a signal as well that they should be going upwards. It's just that I'm seeing that the momentum is still very low. ADX shows us that the momentum is relatively good, around 20% when it's above 20%. So when the turquoise line reaches somewhere here, and if it continues to go up with other indicators, we'll be able to understand that it's a good asset and good time to open. All right. All right. Oh, man, I really wish that we kind of took a look at this right here. We got a beautiful consecutive signals between parabolic, between MACD, between shaft, higher volatility, higher momentum, means that, yeah, the sucker is going to be going down, but the beautiful thing about this is that it can't go down forever, right? So we kind of establish a resistance level kind of right here. Once again, it's not an exact science. I keep saying this over and over. It's not an exact science, but as long as the asset is below this line, we kind of have a bearish dominant. But look, MACD is showing the green bars. So I would say in 30 seconds, we might actually see a reversal and start of a retracement. And when would be the next level? Would be here, then would be here, then probably somewhere over here. So let's take a look. Right, we usually start our kind of positioning from this, and I usually open it until the end of the candle. So in 6 seconds, we'll see a reaction. All right, look, see, directional movement index is crossing crossing the ADX line. We got the volatility that's dropping a little bit, which means that, yeah, I would say that this peak has been, that this movement has peaked right here. We got a third green bar that's approaching it's kind of doing a very gentle, right? It's approaching the zero line, so I would actually wait for the next minute as well to take advantage of a possible breakout. So we could look at this as like 1 point contact, almost a 2 point contact. See, it kind of went up to the wick, to this bar, to this the level of resistance. There's the third one, and here's the fourth one, so technically it should be breaching soon. We have the fractal already show us on this candle that it's a good idea to buy, but, because, once again, maybe a little bit of my experience with this, I probably wanted to wait. So to this minute, 2, 1, and, I don't know, let's see what we got. Well, it would be kind of a little bit soon to start taking this position, but you know what, let's take it. Alright, so if we start with a $2 and 1.5 multiplier, next position should be for $3. Right, and there we go, we're just gonna wait. And as I mentioned, it looks like, I am expecting a breakout, because it's been going down very, very steadily for a long period of time. It established a new low in the past, goodness, right, like over 5 hours. Yeah, I would expect that it should be going upwards. Yeah, we essentially just going to wait it out a little bit. It could actually have a 4th point contact and a false breakout and a continuation to go down lower, but or we might win like by the skin of our teeth. I really don't usually consider these wins a win. But yeah, I believe that it should be going upwards. So in this case, we are expecting a 2-point contact from the lowest point. Right now, we're finding out where is the 2nd-point contact. So this is kind of in a free direction, free move. Now, if we lose, we lost $2, we're gonna win. If we're gonna win on the $3, we're gonna win $2.76. So essentially, $2.76 means that we're going to actually just be in profit at 76 cents. We're going to make our $2 back and still be in profit. All right, but the next one's going to be a little bit bigger. It's 750. And yeah, we got to go to the next minute and wait, because yep, looks like it might we might lose the 2nd position as well. All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodness, I mean, once again, skin of the teeth. Okay, wait, so it didn't really lose, right? So I'm going to continue for a buy. When it ends on the exact same quote, right? So we got 0144, there it is, 0144. Opening price, closing price, didn't really lose or win. I still believe that it should be going up, but the volatility is dropping. That's the only thing that got me a little bit concerned. With regards to MACD, yeah, it should be crossing and going upwards above the zero line any moment now. Based on its signals, we got so MACD and the signal line looks like they're about to cross. We got directional movement, negative directional movement index still, it was still declining, which made me think again that there should be an upward movement. So now we're looking at 750. And the following expiration, and now I'm not sure. Now we're looking at the 2nd-point contact. Let's open and let's kind of continue with this. It's not a big deal. Once again, we made $1,500. We got a bit of a good money cushion right now to even kind of take several steps, not just maybe 4th step. In our case, it's still a 3rd step martingale, but we could entertain the idea of a 4th step as well. And in technical analysis, a bit of, some people actually are very impressed with my restraint with regards to my balance and how little I trade. They're like, man, how do you feel, how do you get satisfaction from like a $2 win? It's not even like a Starbucks, right? In most countries. No, you're absolutely right. It's just that I never look at my profits. I never look at my kind of success on the daily basis. I look always on the monthly basis, not even weekly. All right, so there we go. We've made the fourth steps. All right, so we're going back to our $2. All right, so what are we looking at? We lost 2, we lost 3, 5 overall. We won. So, profit is 660. Right, so $1.60 in profit here. And I would say that, yeah, now it is that point where it's going to be gaining momentum. Signal line and MACD line are crossing. It looks like it's approaching this zero line. So a couple of green candles. We should be expecting a couple of green candles as well. We do have a relatively interesting situation here with regards that a downward movement is meeting relatively decent support right here. 1-2 point contact. It's damn horizontal, if not perfect horizontal. And as I mentioned, it's I'm still expecting an upward movement, so I'm still going to be buying for now, unless it goes back down and breaches this. But we will see that in the other indicators. We got another fractal saying that on this candle right here that it should be going up. All right, so coming back to money management, very important to keep in mind that it's much better to win $2 than lose 200. All right, so even with the multiplier of 1.5, the sixth step of martingale is already $190 worth of loss. All right, seventh it's 468, and eighth is 1,151. So I could theoretically, very unlikely that we're going to have 8. If I keep buying 8 red candles in a row. It's just how, the markets are set up that way. So it's highly unlikely. Does it happen? Yes, it does. Do you want to lose $1,100? No, you don't, right? So this is something that we need to, keep in mind. That's all. All right, parabolics are just switched under. We have the crossing. We got the shaft. I'm very, very confident that this position, we actually could, maybe play around a little bit. We could say, let's open it for $6. Alright, so the first investment is for $6, which means the following one will be for 9. Alright, we opened it for 6, next one is 9. There we go, and the next, so as I mentioned, I'm very confident that it's going to be going up still. That's why we opened it for a big position, and I'm actually thinking that I'm going to maybe open it even within this, but no. Alright, so I'm going to wait. There we go. And in 10 seconds, I'm going to open another position. Alright, we got a bunch of contact from the Telegram channel. Maybe some people are joining, and there we go. But I'm still with you guys here. We're going to be doing trading and together. And with technical analysis for about another, I don't know, let's see, what do we got? Yeah, another 30 minutes or so. There we go. Alright, so there we go. We got actually a switch. Look at that. We got a switch. Actually, I'm going to go over 2250. We got a switch in parabolic SAR saying that it should be going down some more. Alright, so you know what? I'm probably doing this a little bit too soon, but let's see in 24 seconds. There are moments when parabolic will switch for like literally for like 1 dot or for 2 historically. There we go, right? So it's been rising, rising, rising. For this one, it started to go into new lower highs, and then, right, so the formula that governs this indicator calculated that there should be a downward position, but it looked like it hopped up, and then immediately it started and continued back, the same direction, same place. All right, well, what happened here? Yeah, we lost $9. We won, essentially this position, but we lost 6. So 6 and 9, we lost $15, but we won a 20. And so we're still in profit. Though once again, what indicators are showing is a bit of a mismatch. We got parabolic saying down. We got MACD looks like it is crossing the zero line, and the signal line are mushed. So not really a good situation here. You know what, let's go back to OMR CNY. Remember here we said that there's not really anything that's peaking. Yeah, around here when the parabolic, there we go, we got a fractal, we got parabolic, we kind of a little bit sooner than before that we had a bit of a building momentum, I guess, with the MACD. We got a buy signal, though, right now, 2 minutes ago. I don't know if I want to enter it now because the volatility is dropping and the momentum is still below 20% with regards to ADX. So between these two indicators, I think that we've peaked, right? How long did it take to go from this particular point down to the lowest point? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes. And from here in like 4 minutes, it made this whole difference back up. So it seems like it's looking for this as a resistance level, and it could be bouncing back a bit. So we're going to wait. Here we got a breakout strategy. Wait a second, but it could be a false breakout. We got 1, 2, 3 point contact. On the fourth time it actually broke through. We got a sell signal everywhere. A shaft, MACD. We got super low volatility though. And there's not really a momentum building yet. So I'm seeing two green bars on MACD, which kind of prompts me to think that, yeah, there could be an upward movement, but we got parabolic on top. So once again, a bit mixed signal. So let's kind of look, let's continue to look and hunt down. There's a good one right here also. I would actually say that when you pair parabolic SAR with MACD and shaft, you're actually able to kind of enter, catch these moments when when you've got really good or really high probability of success. Right, so I don't know if you guys noticed, every time MACD crosses, shaft crosses, and parabolic switches, we've got like a bunch of like good movements, right? A couple of candles that are worthwhile keeping an eye on. All right, so what do we got here? All right, we got the positive directional index going up, but we got a bunch of red bars here. We got the signal line and the MACD line at the zero line, right around here, right? They're both crossing right now for an upward movement. That also should say something, but we got 5 red bars right now, which means we could be looking at a situation. There we go, right? I said, how many times are you going to see 8 red candles in a row? Not very often, but look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so this move right here, 12, 12 single color candles in a row. That's why we never really want to take, beyond a certain point. I usually don't take it beyond third step martingale, but sometimes fourth step is something that I can entertain. So right now I do have a very interesting kind of situation happening here, right? Or we do. We got a relatively very good upward, trend. And where's the next point of interest in the recent past? This would actually be here. But we got everything else also saying that it should be going down still. We got a bunch of red bars in MACD. Volatility is dropping, which means that the candles are going to be super small. That's why I really wouldn't want to be opening it right now until for like another few minutes. And actually, let's make sure that we've got everything loaded. And we're going to go again to our $2 instead of 6. There we go. And let's just wait maybe a little bit here. I'm going to once again look at all of the chats right now. Alright, so yeah, hopping into Telegram channel. Yeah, we got a guy Gasper here. Saying that we just made some good money. He said that he looked at the previous time we were, live. There we go. And I think we got another one from a guy named David. All right, answered some some fan mail. All right, so let's take a look. What do we got? We got super. This is what the only thing that got me worried. Look, that's actually reaching an all-time, all-time low. Right. So here, these are the size of the candles that we can expect when we got ATR at this, at this point. Right. Same thing here. Look, tiny, tiny candles. So I don't know. Opening a retracement position is too early right now. Right, so it is going to go down at some point, right? So this upward trend cannot last forever, and we can look, and it looks like we're, kind of still going to take advantage of this if it's going to, within the next 15 minutes or so, if it's going to breach. But we need more we need more signals. So right now we got a positive directional movement index, positive DMI with ADX line at 37, it still means that it's still kind of high. I'm expecting that MACD line will round out and cross the signal line. I'm expecting the shaft, because it is on the kind of like over by the positive trend, to round out. I'm expecting the negative DMI to start going upwards, and at that point, I will be able to say that it's maybe a decent time to open a position. But the longer it goes up, the more we got this. That's actually the higher the possibility. Look, see, it's kind of like going up, 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 but now it's goosenecking. All right, it looks like it's petering out. The momentum is petering out. And maybe right now, yeah, maybe in the next, this minute, if not next, all right, we should be able to see. Um, Yeah, we should be able to see maybe something else. So we're still waiting for the market to show us a good time. Well, okay, all right. You know what? Let's take a position here. And I kind of very fast. We got the parabolic. We got the crossing from the MACD. We got the shaft. We got the positive DMI pointing upwards while the negative was going down. So I do believe that we actually could go as far as opening maybe a few of these in this minute. There we go. Again, I'll go for 6. Very, very, very high probability, highly likely that it's going to be going upwards. We've caught this right on time. All right. So the only thing that I would see that kind of makes me slightly worried, not really worried, but concerned. Look, ADX is pointing down, so the volatility is dropping, which means that this is not going to be a long trend. All right, so I'm actually, yeah, I'm not gonna open. I'm gonna open another buy position if this goes south for okay. So this is I'm looking to lose $4 as the first step marking go, which means the next one is going to be 6. So very, very good situation happening, in terms of signal wise, right? We got everything kind of pointing upwards, but because, not many people know the rules, maybe there's a whole bunch of, or maybe a few people with big pockets are selling this and it's going downward, right? So we could also understand that there was a relatively decent downward trend. All right, for a while we have this kind of like a 1, we got a 2, we got a 3, we got a 4-point contact. So the fact that this is going to be, yeah, I'm going to open for another, wait a second, did I open? No, I didn't. Oh, son of a, yes, I did open. All right, so I got $12 right now on the line as a first step martingale, not really somewhere where I want to be, which means next one is 18. Just need to be a little bit more careful. There we go. So we still got, this kind of like a relatively long negative move. That's why I was very excited, immediately saw that that the retracement point is good, and that there should be an upward movement. But this could be a 5th-point contact and a retracement, right? So this is where we do need to be kind of careful. That's all. All right, so I got 18, essentially what, $12 on the line right now. Next one is 18. I'm still thinking that it should be going up. We got green bars. We got, there we go. We got the first red bar. So you know what? Let's wait. CAD CPI kind of made made a fool of me right now. We got a lower volatility. It's lowering, and I kind of want to open again, but look, ADX keeps dropping, so I kind of want to open another buy position, but it's not really worth it. Yeah, it's not really worth it, but we'll kind of keep an eye out on this. We could say that this was a false breakout. All right, so what do we got here? We have a decent buy signal. Look again, right? MACD, zero line, parabolic. Then it did kind of go upwards here, though the volatility is level. The ADX was going down. Not really perfect situation. All right, what do we got here? I'm actually still, I'm going to calculate how much money I lost. We're going to go to the next step, martingale. So let's see. We lost $12, right? Wait a second. No, we lost more. All right, so we lost. Okay, so we opened 2. Yeah, there we go. We opened 6, but one of them and the money. 4 was lost. 4 was lost. Next one was 6, but I accidentally clicked twice. So we got 12, and so overall we have goodness, $16 lost. And if I go with the 1.5 multiplier, there we go, putting it into my chart. Next one should be $24. $24. All right, so let's see if we can catch something good. All right, a possibility right here is rising, right? We got shaft rounding out. We got the MACD and signal line also kind of rounding out. The volatility is kind of in the middle. It's not the best, but the ADX is going down, so we're not going to be expecting a trending move. All right, what do we also have here? We see that we have a negative trend, perhaps. Maybe not from there, right? But maybe it is actually from here. We also got another one, I would say, from this point, going down a little bit aggressively. There it is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not exact science, but there we go. On the 5th one, it broke through, and we got obviously confirming indicators that it should be going upwards. So, but now it's going, now it's going sideways, but with slightly upward channel, right? So we got 1, 2-point contact, and seems like it's approaching this particular level. Actually, let's remove this so it doesn't confuse us. Yeah, so a long-term downward trend is meeting a possible upward trend right now. We've got the volatility rising. We've got 2 green bars, and we've got a possible breakout. So let's go to our expiration. And you know what? I'll buy. All right, I'll buy. If this is 24, next one is $60. All right, so next one is 60. But once again, the risk of doing it here is that it could be a false breakout, a touch and go back down. All right, so next one is 60 for the following minute, and we're just going to wait. Remember I said that there we go, a situation like this kind of goes up, goes up, goes up, says, hey, buy, and it continues to fall down, fall short. All right, so we'll see if this is something same that happens right now. And probably we're going to finish at, in a few minutes after this to see if, well, we'll see if it kind of pushes through. Well, it seems like it might, it's trying to fight this. Skin of the teeth, not really digging it. All right, we lost, right? But let's open another one. There we go. So this one is hiding position. All right, relatively high position. So it seems like it should be going up, but not really digging. I would much rather buy positions like here, all right, where we got the, crossing of the zero line after it's been kind of like approaching this crossing of the signal line shaft. Here we kind of had a little bit of a dip back, but it says that it still should continue to go up. We got the, the crossing of the positive DMI with the negative one, but the volatility is dropping. The momentum of this move is dropping, which means that, again, I'm probably not expecting a trending move. All right, so this is where, again, it looks like we're going to be losing this one as well in the following. And the last position for the day, we're still going to be in crazy good money, but I'm going to open it up. I'm going to open it here for a buy again. Or rather, I shouldn't. Look, we got two red bars. All right. Let's see. Let's see. If this is adjusted just a little bit, we could actually say that this is the 5th-point contact and a retracement. And now, if this crosses, there we go. If this crosses, if this actually in 38 seconds closes below this line, I would say that we're going to have confirming signals. There we go. It's crossing again. Not for a trend. At least not yet. Yeah, buying up right now would be a goofy idea. We got two red bars. We got a testing of the support level. We got a crossing of the DMIs. Volatility is relatively, in the middle. So let's wait. Let's wait for another 5 seconds and we'll see what kind of move we're expecting from, not maybe even this minute, but the one after. We got a fractal saying sell. And that's usually my kind of like early ding ding, early bell of information that it's a good idea to keep an eye out on a possible downward movement. And we've been waiting for it for a while, right? So this particular upward trend, it doesn't look like it. It's almost like a sideways movement, but we're establishing higher lows, right? So boom, boom, boom. And in the next couple of minutes, as I mentioned, I'm kind of hoping that it's, not hoping, but I'm expecting, I guess, that it should be retracing and going downward. So it is testing this period, resistance period, several times now. So we'll see again. See, again, it's going up. You see, not really something that I enjoy seeing. So I don't like seeing this kind of stuff right here. And, this actually is my second, second least favorite situation, right? So not this, but this where it kind of saws at a particular level without any kind of, the volatility is dropping, the momentum is dropping. So this is, once again, kind of the calm before the relatively decent push, right? A calm before a, well, mediocre push, I would say. But I still think that we could see something good in regards to a retracement breaking this particular period. It's been touched multiple times, but we also have this has been touched multiple times. So there has to be some sort of reaction. It's just I'm not really certain that we're going to make our $150 position. Maybe we should actually once again go back to the previous lows, maybe start positioning with a $10 trades. There we go. We got fractal saying up. Volatility, again, a third time crossing of the DMIs, but volatility is dropping and there's absolutely no momentum to this movement. It keeps dropping lower and lower. So I'm still thinking that I want to be here to give this a little bit more of my attention, but I am getting bored. Or impatient to a degree. Alright, so let's wait a little bit more. We'll see about this resistance level as well. We could say that this is like a 1, we got a 2, we got possibly 3rd point contact right here. And anytime there is a squeeze, there has to be a pop. Alright, so again, I'm thinking that it still should be with this level, but it's all really about the pocket option clients right now, what they're doing. And I think that there's like a bunch of people here that have absolutely no clue how to do technical analysis. Go and see my videos, my friend. I show you the way. I guide you to the rules that govern this system. Alright, while we're waiting, let's see if we got any kind of good signals happening right now. A bunch of red bars. We got a crossing right now, but volatility is dropping everything and momentum is dropping as well. Nah, not feeling it. Alright, New Zealand USD. What do we got? We got a upward trend. Like, we got actually 23. Alright, so it should be, it could be going up. Volatility is dropping a bit, so the candles are going to be a bit smaller. We got this particular asset that's reaching the previous highs, right? So I would actually wait. I would actually say that it should be bouncing back down fairly soon. Alright, maybe that fairly soon is going to be happening right now. There's the first red bar. Alright, let's wait another minute. Alright, CAS USD. Anybody knows what a CAS is? Uh, if you're in the chats right now, maybe you can Google and let us know. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3. There was a breakout. It was, not really a good signal. Volatility is dropping. There it is, right? We've got momentum dropping, but it's been going up for a while. Also, a very, very timid, very, very gentle kind of upward trend. Establishing new highs there. Euro NZD, do we have anything here? Actually, not a bad situation to be part of, right? 2 green bars, right? The volatility is somewhere in kind of on the low side. But we got a buy signal from Fractal on this candle for this one to be going higher. Alright, and sheesh, alright, let's go to this one. There we go. Alright, so we're going down for a ride. Okay, not yet, not yet. Though, actually setting up some support and resistance levels here would be a good idea. There we go, we've got a 2-point contact here, and let's see a possible 2-point contact here. Alright, so 1, 2, 1, 2. So we'll see if there is a breakout right now on the third, which not really the ideal situation, but the volatility is rising, so the candle seems to be a bit, bigger. The downward trend, we had a sell signal right here from MACD, from shaft. Alright, and well, we're still waiting. It looks like they're rounding out, and it could be going upwards. So let's go to the next candle and wait. Where was I? I was thinking it was like BHD, CNY. Yeah, alright, so what do we got here? Still kind of like this ridiculousness that, but actually it's, if the signal line and MACD line are going above the 0 line, we could have a possible boost in momentum, right? So we still got this kind of leveled off. ADX is at 20 with a positive DMI. Parabolic is still on the bottom. It looks like we are, after this candle closes in 20 seconds, we could start seeing a build in volatility and everything else that it should be going upwards. Alright, so in 16 seconds it's over, and there we go. We're kind of keeping an eye out on this. This was actually kind of big move in comparison to what the hell it did in the past. So, I don't know, do we want to buy right now? I still don't want to buy. Not here. Alright, NZD. We gotta sell. Alright, let's sell. Alright, we got a parabolic. We got crosses from everywhere. We got the DMIs crossing. Though the volatility is around 20%, or not volatility, I'm sorry, momentum kind of right around 20%. Not the ideal situation, but I think that we're gonna make our money, and I'm gonna go and pick up my kid from the kindergarten. So my dear friends, maybe I'm kind of celebrating the victory a little bit too soon. I still believe, we should be in a good situation right here. That's what it's all about. It's about making informed decisions and sticking to a plan with kind of conscientious and, no, you son of a booger. I still want to sell. Alright, so yeah, my goodbye got, got extended a little bit more. But actually, we are going to close it out, whether this is a win or a lose. We're going to close this out. We're still going to be in plenty of profit today. So, it does, Kryptonaut. Yeah, it does happen once in a while, my dear man. I mean, it ended on the same quote, right? It ended, there we go, this 150. I didn't lose it. I didn't win it. It ended on the same quote very, very, briefly. So it looks like we're going to lose this position, but you know what? You know what? The hell with this. We're in the, we're in big money today. So what's next? Next one's 375. All right. Do I dare? Do I dare? You know what? It's okay. I do dare. All right. So we lost this. We had the sell signals across the board. All right, it's just that we, and yeah, I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell right now. All right, so 375, crazy big, right? Actually, we have this like goofing on, goofy situations right here. 4, I should have opened the 6, but it came out to 12. That means that I had to go with a much bigger. Also, didn't go through, didn't go through. So once again, I'm gonna lose this. It's okay. I'm still gonna close this in the profit for the day, and that's what it's all about. Uh, Being conscientious and knowing when to stop. Yes, I could actually go to even $913 next, but who the hell am I? I'm not Donald Trump or, I don't know, somebody rich. So I'm going to keep my money. I made a couple of $100 today and with you guys, and I'm going to call it quits right now. So, my dear friends, tomorrow I'm going to be with you guys same time with regards to the macro statistic that we're looking at. To wait a second, where is it? Let's go for this week. And tomorrow, yeah, I encourage you guys to take a look at the GBP with the CPI. All right, and let's go back to +3 for me. There we go. So tomorrow again, we're going to take a little bit bigger positions for a retracement with regards to CPI and the GBP. And at 3:30, I am going to be live with you to take advantage of the PPI. And Thursday, we're going to be doing the retail sales also at the same time. So same time as today, tomorrow, same time as today on Thursday. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with Morpheus. Leave a comment, like the video, and I'll see you around.